Do you have updates on the institutional adoption of Bitcoin? I've seen some comments just recently. The PayPal guy said everything is eventually going to be on Lightning or something. I mean,
Lightning Network. Well, I mean, listen, we'll talk about Lightning Network if you want, but I think the institutional adoption is happening now. The state of Wisconsin announced. We expect other pension funds to announce, and of course, Bitcoin now has the regulatory approval, and I think that was the rate limiting step for a lot of these large-scale institutions. And just remember, if you're not long Bitcoin, you're possibly short Bitcoin in the sense that if you believe, and I think BlackRock has more or less said this, that this will be part of a long-term tactical asset allocation strategy for institutional investors, then at some point you've got to get long Bitcoin. Is it 1% of Bitcoin, 1.5% Bitcoin? I don't know. So a lot of smart institutions are saying, let me get long this thing before it becomes part of a total tactical asset allocation index. And I think that's starting to happen now, and that's very good for Bitcoin.
There you have it from Anthony Scaramucci. He's talking about adoption. And with this pending Bitcoin bull run that started last year and we're not done yet, how can you play the rest of this market? We'll be talking about this before this video is out. Make sure you watch it to the end. What's happening, Crypto Crew? Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and check us out at our link tree. Check it out here. Also, if you want to become part of the Bitcoin Bros community, the Bitcoin Bros Patreon is growing. We appreciate all your support. Getting straight into it without further ado, we've seen this rounding top that could be detailing out a massive alt season for over the next 12 months. We could be seeing this play out, and if we have a continuation to the downside, that'll be the biggest alt season we've seen year to date. But this happens every single time. You have the halving, run into this resistance, fall off a cliff. Halving, resistance, cliff. Halving, resistance. Now we're just waiting for that cliff. So you have to be patient. This is a patience game. And we're looking at the Bitcoin price chart. What do we see at the current time of this recording? 66.5K. The number Bitcoin has to get over is 67,000 to 67.5K. And you see it's just been in this channel, this downwards channel, which is a bullish channel. But could we come back down and see lower price action? That's a possibility if we don't have a continuation to its upside. If this support doesn't hold, right now this seems to be a bullish engulfing candle. So we'll see what the next week's candles looks like. Could we get comfortably above that 67 to 67,500 threshold? We think so. But zooming out on the charts, we see a bigger pattern playing out. And what is it? It's a cup and handle. The cup gets formed. You can come into this in a bullish momentum, bear market, hit resistance, then here's the handle, then you got your minimum target breakout. You got to look at the cup lid down to the peak of the trough, and we did that for you. You see the cup lid actually come to this bullish momentum here, boom, this cup lid, we come up here and hit this resistance perfectly. This resistance, if we extend it to the left, we'll show you this. We come up and kiss that perfectly with this red candle wick up here. Looking at this on a macro, you see over the past 2.5 years, this huge cup's been forming, and right now we are in this handle pattern breakout. So pulling from the bottom of this trough to the top of this lid right here, where's the technical target take us up to? A massive, massive target. It takes us up over 300,000 at $300 and almost $20,000. Could we be seeing this for the Bitcoin price chart? You don't want to discount it. It's just technical analysis. And Matthew Hyland's taking a look at this inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is a bullish pattern. It's taking you to about 75 to 80K if this plays out. The breakout bullish engulfing candle has been made today, but we have to see if we're going to get a continuation up over that $67,000 threshold we mentioned to you. But taking a look at what we see, look at this here. The stochastic RSI also has flipped bullish. Blue line flipped over the red. The last time this happened was back here at this base around $26,000, and from this base to where we had a cool off point really went from $26,000 up to $73,000. As far as appreciation, what are we looking at from the bottom to the ultimate peak? Almost a 200% move. So if Bitcoin does something similar, let's pull from the bottom of this and go up 200%. Doesn't quite hit that $320,000 threshold, but 170,000, not too bad. We get this question from a lot of our followers, a lot of our Patreon members. How can I play this market? And we give out advice when that question gets asked. Crypto macro guru Raoul is weighing in on this topic, so you don't want to miss this clip. Check it out.
Is this asset is in a logarithmic uptrend based on a network adoption model, Metcalfe's law. And so all of the highs are higher and all of the lows are higher. And when you put it on a normal scaling, it keeps looking like a bubble and then this. And when you look back on the chart, these little blips versus this, because it's this gigantic trend. So what you start to realize is the drawdowns are a feature and a benefit if you think about them right. I then calculated, okay, what happens if I just added my original size? Again, it wasn't the biggest bet in the world, but it was good enough. Every time we had one of these massive drawdowns, so crypto winter. And let's assume again that Raoul's a total moron. He misses the low by 30% because to market timing, this stuff is hard as hell. If I'd have just done that in the two cycles, 2013 and 2018, I would have done 25 times better because you're compounding. And that really struck me. I'm like, okay, now I understand. So this cycle, the 2022 downside, I didn't do anything except buy when I thought we were close to the bottom. And I started buying in June, and I got the ETH low in June. And then I bought more, and I bought some Solana in June, actually, which was too early. And then I bought again in October, November, and it worked out beautifully. And that was based around my liquidity cycle and where we are in this whole macro crypto summer stuff. And we were just finishing winter. So, and then I found I'd gone to my all-time highs in P&L way before the market had even got close to all-time highs. Now, it helped that I managed to nail Solana, but even then, by compounding and adding to trades into those, you do really well.
So there you have it from Raoul Paul, and he's telling you, don't worry about time in the top and time in the bottoms. He's just compounding when the market cools off in those bear markets. Once again, the time in the market is very tricky. You don't want to sell right here thinking the peak is near and you go up another 100% move. So keep all this in mind. It's hard to time the tops. You can use technical analysis and tools to get very close, but you're never 100% certain. If this price action does come up and break this, previous all-time high, go up to $150,000 to $320,000 threshold, whichever this is going to be hit, 100,000, 120. We have some tools we use, and once we get closer to those, we'll let our followers know. But regardless, the next time this price peaks at whatever price and comes back down, use this downtime as a buying opportunity to stack your bags and compound your returns. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.